The Galactic Council had existed in relative peace for 10,000 years. Species from across the universe had formed an alliance based on mutual cooperation and shared advancement. But there was one rule that had never been broken: Deathworlders were always to be studied with extreme caution. Deathworlders came from planets with hostile environments, worlds ravaged by volcanic activity, extreme weather, toxic atmospheres, and predators that could kill in seconds. Those who evolved on such worlds developed differently. They were unpredictable. They were dangerous. And most importantly, they were completely unknown to the galactic community. Until humanity was discovered. Dr. Vexthar, a renowned xenobiologist from the Ethereal Collective, received the first transmission about Earth. The data was astounding: a planet with gravity 1.3 times standard, atmospheric composition fluctuating wildly, temperatures ranging from -50 to 50 degrees Celsius, and an ocean that covered 70% of the surface. Worst of all, there were thousands of species specifically evolved to hunt other creatures. This world should not support sapient life, Vexthar muttered to his research team, studying the planetary data. Yet here they are, 7 billion humans thriving. The Council decided to send an observation team to Earth. Dr. Vexthar volunteered immediately, accompanied by scientists from 5 other species: Kale-ADH from the Crystal Mines, Zewexla from the Ethereals, Krentox from the Valorians, and 2 others. They arrived on Earth in a cloaked vessel, hovering silently above a major human city. What they witnessed over the first week shattered their understanding of biology and psychology. They observed humans deliberately exposing themselves to extreme cold to build character. They watched humans climbing vertical rock faces with nothing but ropes for recreation. They documented humans running for hours in intense heat, not for survival, but for fitness. "They're insane," Kale-ADH declared, his crystalline form flickering with confusion. "They're torturing themselves voluntarily." But the observations grew stranger. The team watched a human construction worker fall from a 3-story building. By all calculations, the impact should have caused fatal injuries. Instead, the human broke several bones and survived. Within 6 months, he was back to work. They documented a human who had lost both legs in an accident. Rather than accepting life in a facility, this human learned to run using prosthetic limbs. He competed in athletic events. He pushed his body beyond what should have been possible. "How are they doing this?" Zewexla asked, her translucent form vibrating with shock. "Their medical technology is primitive compared to ours. Yet they survive injuries that would permanently disable our species." Vexthar began studying human psychology. He accessed their internet, their literature, their history. What he discovered was chilling and magnificent. Humans had a trait no other species possessed: they thrived under pressure. Throughout their evolutionary history, they had faced extinction repeatedly. Ice ages. Meteor impacts. Volcanic winters. Predators that hunted them relentlessly. Diseases that wiped out populations. And yet, they survived. They adapted. They innovated. But more than that, they celebrated survival. They told stories about it. They named their heroes after those who had overcome impossible odds. They created art about perseverance. They built entire cultures around the concept of triumph over adversity. Vexthar discovered something called motivation. On most worlds, beings worked because they needed resources or because they were programmed to do so. But humans? Humans worked because they wanted to prove something, to themselves, to their families, to history. He found records of humans attempting to climb mountains that had killed thousands. Humans crossing oceans in fragile boats. Humans venturing into space knowing they might die. And when they failed, they tried again. And again. And again. This is why they survived, Vexthar explained to his team during their final observation week. It's not their physical strength. It's not their intelligence alone. It's their refusal to accept defeat. It's their ability to find meaning in suffering. Krentok studied a human child learning to ride a bicycle. The child fell repeatedly. Each time, the child got back up. Each time, the child tried again. After an hour, the child succeeded, and the expression of joy on the child's face was genuine and profound. They celebrate small victories like they're monumental, Krentok observed. Because to them, Vexthar replied, they are. Every survival is a victory. Every obstacle overcome is proof that they belong on this world. As the observation team prepared to return to Council space, Vexthar compiled his report. It was unprecedented. It challenged everything the galaxy believed about species classification. The conclusion was simple but terrifying: humanity was not just a Deathworlder species. They were the Deathworlder species. If given the opportunity, they would not just survive, they would thrive. They would innovate. They would conquer. And the galaxy, which had grown comfortable and stagnant over 10,000 years of peace, was about to meet the most dangerous species it had ever encountered. Not because humans were cruel or militaristic by nature, but because they had evolved to overcome anything. The age of human ascension was about to begin.